Hi, we're here today with another episode of our Above the Bar, and we have Ariana Garcilaso, one of our alumni, who is now working in the media. So we flipped the script a little bit, and now we're doing an interview with her. And she also was a recent college graduate that played college softball. So I'll let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about yourself. Ariana?
Hi, my name is Ariana Garcilaso. I am a 2016 graduate of Rio Rico High School. Graduated this year in communications and broadcasting from Arizona Christian University. And yeah, I played college all 4 years of high school, and then was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to Arizona Christian and continue my softball career, but also while getting an education.
So you went to college to play softball. So what made your decision to go to Arizona Christian?
I just like the small community. It's a very small, new university. So I like that it was small, kind of coming from a small town, and it made me feel a little bit more comfortable. And the coach was really, really good to me, really nice to me. On my tour, it was just a really good feeling to have everyone so welcoming and well, yeah, they were just good people. So I just that kind of affected my decision and why I wanted to go there.
We're very fortunate to be in Rio Rico and have a lot of family like atmosphere. So it sounds like Arizona Christian was similar that you had kind of a family away from Rio Rico, because it's one of those things that being from Rio Rico as a student, a lot of our students don't like to go away because they're so close with their family. So what made you able to do that? I mean, I know it's still, close by, but it's still away from Rio Rico. How confident were you in doing that?
I was always very wanting to leave, not in a bad way, but I wanted to get out of the small town. And still, Phoenix was still kind of far enough to where I can be on my own, but close enough to where if I needed anything from my family, it could be right there, right away. My family was always very, very supportive of me going on to play college ball, going on to get an education. So that really was helpful for me to see that, they wanted me to take that next step, wanted me to go forward, and it really made things easier once that time came to where I had to take that next step. So it was a lot of their support that made me want to do that.
So being a college athlete and going to school at the same time, it's a little bit different than when you're in high school. Tell us a little bit about that. Was that pretty difficult to be a college athlete and a student at the same time?
It was difficult trying to balance out schoolwork, practices, workouts, conditioning, and then I worked at the time as well. So it was just a lot of trying to balance out, time management and all of that. But it comes with a lot of you have to want to do it, and I think that it came a lot from just me wanting to get that degree and wanting to finish off, but also like softball has been a huge part of my life, so I wanted to continue doing both, and it was a little difficult, but you learn to balance things out and to manage the time correctly. So
Yeah, and now you're a graduate, so you're working in the media. So tell us what your position is and where you're working.
yeah, so I'm a multimedia journalist at Azteca Tucson, a local news station in Tucson. So basically, what I do is I report stories locally. I got to cover some bigger stories and stuff like that. So yeah, basically a reporter.
And so how did you end up working at the position that you're currently at?
Yeah, so my boyfriend actually met the producer of the channel, and he saw him. on the street and was just went up to him and said, you know what, like my girlfriend's looking for a position in this field. And he was just kind of taken aback by it and was like, okay, well, here's my card if she wants to give me a call. And and I did right away. And he was like, okay, well, you show us some video that shows us that you have experience, that you studied this and everything. I brought in my resume, had an interview, and they really liked what I had to offer. So yeah, that's kind of how it was. Really strange and unexpected, but it led me to a job that I've always wanted. So
Well, that's great, and it's I think you sometimes you have to make your own luck, and it sounds like you were able to do that. So
yeah,
you've been through all of our schools, I believe, in Rio Rico. You went all through. What elementary did you go to?
I went to, well, it was Peña Blanca at the time. Now it's Calabasas. Then I went to Calabasas Middle School, and you were my principal actually.
Yeah.
And then Rio Rico High School. So
Yeah, so I remember it makes me feel a little bit older, from being there. But so, how did the schools do in preparing you for the next step? Since went through all of them, so yeah, did it help prepare you for college and and beyond?
yeah, definitely. I think even from like Peña Blanca, the teachers were always so helpful. And like I was always such a shy student, kind of never raised my hand, never even talked to anyone. So the teachers really helped me to develop that, like get out of that shell. And I think that really helped me in college and my career, because now my career is based around talking and based around talking to other people. So the teachers were always really helpful, and both in elementary school, middle school, and they helped me to meet new people, helped me to come out of my shell and in my career overall. So
That's great. And so you now have a sister that just graduated from Rio Rico High School, and you have one that is starting high school.
yes.
So, what would you say to them? I'm sure you've talked to them about it, but what do you say to them about preparing for the next level, and any advice that you have for not only your sisters, but all of the students at Rio Rico?
Right. My youngest sister, she's a freshman, so she just came in. She, I just would give her the advice that like high school goes by really, really fast. So just to kind of enjoy the time that you have in high school, but also like keep in mind that those 4 years really, really mean a lot when you're trying to go into a college education, both in your grades and in athletics. So I tell her every day, to work hard, not only on the field, but in the classroom as well, to keep up her GPA, keep up with her grades, especially right now with online and all of that going on. It's a little hard for her, but she's doing really well in maintaining both. So that's kind of the advice I have, to just kind of enjoy the time that you're there, because it goes by really fast. And to also just make sure to stay on top of your grades, because they definitely make a difference. Um, and then for my other sister who's going into college, same thing. It goes by really fast. But I would also need to pay attention a lot to your basic classes, but also the classes that are specifically for your major. Um, to do a lot of hands-on practice on your own, depending what your major is, but to do stuff on your own outside of your classes too. And it's really beneficial once you get into the actual field that you want to work in.
Yeah, I think they're very fortunate to have you that has paved the way for them, and so that they have somebody, a model that they could follow. And that's one of the reasons that we do these above the bar interviews, because someone like you who has been through it, can come back and share how to be successful. So I have to ask one thing. So your current job, is a Spanish-speaking station. Is that correct?
Correct.
So,
Yes.
yeah, and then that's one of the things that we always tell our students, because most of our students are bilingual. So, did that really help you get into the field and have an advantage that some other students, especially in media, may not have had?
Yeah, definitely. So my parents always made it a point to keep our Spanish be fluent in both languages, and it definitely helped me in this career because you get double the job openings. There's stations in Spanish, stations in English. So and keeping fluent in both languages really helped me in this field. So it's definitely important, and I'm pretty sure that it's very important in a lot of fields, medical, well, media, any field that you're trying to go in. Being bilingual is a big plus. So
And then that's what we always tell our students, that it's never a negative. It's always a strength to be able to have the Spanish and English. Anytime you can have multiple languages is great. So, what's the next step for you? So you're in your career. I know it's early, but do you have any other goals of where you want to be, like ESPN or something like that? In the future.
yeah, so that's actually the goal is to go into sports broadcasting. And I want to do that mostly because there's not a lot of women in that field. So I want to go into sports broadcasting. Um, but starting in news and starting in a local news, um, it'll help me, I think, to grow with experience and then also grow in like my craft, if you will, like speaking to people, speaking to in front of a camera, being a lot less nervous. So yeah, that's my goal to just kind of grow in the local news and then maybe go into something national and then hopefully into sports. So just kind of grow in the same field. So
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you to grow in that. And then we'll also, I'm going to tell you that we'll ask you to come back to Rio Rico High School sometime because we are growing our digital media class. We already have a green room, but now we're going to be adding a complete digital media classroom, and so we'll be moving with editing and producing and those type of things. So you'll have a lot of experience by the time that gets going in another year or so, because that's what we plan on having it a year from now, having our class up and running and expanded. So you'll be able to come back and share your experience and help our students know what they need to do to move on to the next level.
yeah, that's awesome. I saw a post that said that there was like in school broadcasters,
Yeah.
and it was just that's awesome. I love that the school's doing that for this career path. So I love it.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us today and representing not only our district but our community. And we wish you luck in all of your endeavors and career. And thank you for sharing the time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.